happened in the last 5 years. Real fans probably knew deep down that there was something going on.
Paranoia, fear, body pain, anxiety.
I go from everyone touching me all day and talking at me all day to total silence. And all these people will leave, and then I'll be alone.
I didn't feel good enough, and I do now. That's the good part.
I have chased this bean for 5 years. But when I feel the adrenaline of my music and my fans, I can fucking go.
With your doc out. This is this is like episode 9?
Eight? 9?
Yeah. So we're really excited. I'm Greg Behrendt, Kay Hanley.
I'm Kay Hanley.
I'm Rick Reynolds.
It's Rick Reynolds.
He's our producer. Thanks.
And this is exciting. We've never done a live one before. We do this in the bedroom in my house.
When we record it in the bedroom in your house. Yep. I can pretend that you're not wearing clown pants.
Right.
But I think we're just going to have to address the clown pants in the room.
Yeah. So if you're a Walk in the Room fan, then you know that we go clown from the neck down. And if you don't listen to Walk in the Room, you have a life that's so much better than everybody else's. And you don't even need to have it explained to you. But anyway, so I have clown pants on. Normally I just wear regular pants for this.
He does.
You'd think, well, what kind of pants
he
you wear
usually
for
has
a documentary?
great pants on.
Yeah.
Not to say that the clown pants aren't great.
They're not what you want at 54, really?
But they're great for downtown LA.
What's that?
They're great for downtown LA. You fit right in.
That's true. Well, I was a hobo for a while, as you can see. Patches in these.
Yeah.
And I also have, what's that thing called with the that you put on the bundle?
We were just talking about
What's it called? A bindle.
A bindle. John has your
Man,
friend John
in college,
has
that
one
had
of
a
those.
whole different other meaning. A bindle did not. They came in a bag.
Can of beans, campfire.
Right? Mm-hmm. Waiting for pies. People
That's
put
you.
pies out on the old. Okay. Anyway, enough of the depression. We watched the documentary, and hopefully you guys got a chance to. If not, 5'2".
The Lady Gaga documentary.
Yeah. Now,
should we talk about what we do first, like what our podcast is about, or should we just jump right in?
That's right, because some people could just have just wandered in. They're like, well, I got to pass.
They could have.
Right. We talk about rock documentaries. We watch a rock documentary, and then we break it down not only as a film, but what's the meaning of it?
And how does this apply to me?
Right.
What does this mean to me?
What can I get from it?
Right.
What does this say about me? Because, if you really like something, chances are it said something to you about who you are, either reaffirmed it or fucking just made you furious.
Right.
But either way, you know who you are, and you're like, I fucking hate this, and I feel good about that, and I'm going to go tell people. Or you're like, oh, this had a message. And Kay and I try and find the message.
We do. Even when we're talking about animatronic.
Right, we
robot
we watched a
bands.
thing called the Rocket Fire Explosion, which is about the animatronic band that used to play
At the pre-Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm already tired.
And it was like, you would think that something like that would be like really fun and whimsical, and it was fucking dark.
Yeah, it went kind of gray. It went kind of Gray's Garden. So it's like, they had this pizza place, and this guy made all these robots, and he was a genius, and he was the guy that invented whack-a-mole, but somehow
is broke.
He's broke, and he didn't get the patents for things, and he has a very young girlfriend who seems like she doesn't know why she's there, and
she met him because she was a waitress at Chuck E. Cheese.
Right, but she and some of the other people
weird.
that like it talk about the band as though it's a real band, and they're like, when you see the bear and his eyes light up, and you're like, it's a robot.
Light up is an interesting way to put it.
And when they say animatronic, when I was a kid, animatronic shit was scary as fuck, because it didn't move like you, and it wasn't you, but it looked at you like it was like. And you're like, fuck, I hate this thing. And it's pretending to, I know it's not playing guitar and I know it's not a band. But some people really liked it. And then the guy that made these, they called them shows. So each band was called a show, and he made a bunch of them for the different Chuck E. Cheeses. And then somebody outbid him, and he went a little crazy. And he starts walking you through his factory, and every room it gets worse and darker and worse. And he's like, "Oh, I don't know what that is. That's like some kind of goo that's been here for a while. Spooky." So it didn't, yeah. So that was
weird.
one.
And we did a whole entire podcast about that.
Yeah. Not our highest rated, but certainly we got to learn about each other
And ourselves.
on the journey of podcasting, which, as you know, is constantly morphing. And we just picked, and we live in a niche where, like, every week we both have to watch a rock documentary, which are my favorite.
Which I would never do, ever.
You would never do it?
No.
No, because you're in rock. Like, I wouldn't watch a comedy special.
Right, and I would.
For any,
I do.
you would
I
watch
do
a comedy
frequently.
special.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe that's what we should do next.
Right.
Like,
And
I
maybe
should
that would
make
help me if I
you
watched one.
what?
It'd probably be good if I saw one, so I see what people are doing. Oh yeah, look at that guy. But no, so you have? Do you not have any? Do you like when you see a rock documentary? So Kay was in the band Letters to Cleo. If you guys don't know that, and she has toured all over the world. And she also, as we covered on last week's podcast, she was the voice, and she and Michael and some of the people from their band, they played the music for Josie and the Pussycats, and. There was a reunion show, which is like a reunion of a band that didn't, like, they had a reunion. And
It was not an animatronic band, but we did not exist nonetheless.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right, as
No.
a band. They
Right.
were the actors that played the band. and
Uh-oh, what
that
happened
can't
to
be
our-
good.
It timed out.
Oh, that's all right. We'll get it back together.
damn.
There we go. Did it work?
Oh, good. Oh,
Okay.
that.
Anyway,
It fell asleep.
you can hear all about it on our last podcast. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the Lady Gaga one because we cover, it doesn't matter when they were, and if you have a suggestion or a pocket one that you love, please let us know because we love doing this next round that we're going to do. We're going to take a break. We're going to pick 10. We're going to tell you ahead of time what they are so you can watch them. We're going to try and maybe get some interviews. We're hopefully going to become the reigning deans of podcast, of rock documentaries. That's
Podcasting.
a lot of words.
Yeah.
Shall we go? Shall we start
Yeah.
talking about it?
Lady Gaga, 5'2". This is Lady Gaga's documentary about the making and the release of her latest album, Joanne.
Right.
It is on Netflix.
Are you a fan?
I'm not a fan.
I don't know what that means.
I know exactly what that means.
I'm not like that. Really is hedging your bets.
Okay.
I'm not a fan.
Well, no, I'm not. This is actually a very solid opinion that I'm not a fan.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. I don't enjoy her music. I
Okay,
find
so
her
that would
music
be-
very like.
that seems to fall in the-
I find her music very anonymous. Like I don't know when it's her. Like when she's on the radio or what. It could be really anybody.
Okay.
But I have also seen her in concert, and she's fucking amazing. She's like she's a great entertainer.
Right.
So it's like it really depends on the context with her and
Okay.
me.
Okay.
How we vibe.
Right.
Me and the Gaga.
Right. Right. You and the Gaga.
The Gaga.
The Gaga. I have a similar. I like anybody that is like a sort of a is a cheat like. Yeah, same thing, man. The music, I can't. You have to remind me what it is, and then I'm like, I don't know it. And then if you sing it to me, I go, oh yeah, Poker Face.
Yeah.
That's the one I remember. But I also think she's incredibly talented, and I like anybody.
I always thought she was saying cutie pie, no, you can't
What is she
read
saying?
my
poker. Wait, what is she saying?
poker face.
Oh, okay.
But
What
I
is
think
she
she was. I think she's saying. What is she saying? Can't read my. That's a little clunky.
She's carrying my poker. She's carrying my.
Can't read my.
Oh, you can't read my poker.
Can't read
Fuck,
my.
I can't even understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And by the way, you do not have a poker face, and it is evident in this entire movie. Every fucking feeling that she has ever had happens in seconds on her face. There is no mystery. She is not mysterious in any way. So that was like a wish list. She lives in Poker Face. You'll see very soon. If it's happening, you know about it. And everybody's like. There's a lot of people in this movie, but only a few of them talk because she's mostly talking.
Because she's talking. So the film opens. We're not going to play the clip because the sound is crap because she's frying something in a frying pan. So it's just going to
right.
It'll hurt your ears. But basically, it opens with her wearing this kind of insane leotard with. You can show a
I'll show
picture of it.
And the sound
'Cause
is so
it's
she's
like-
cooking. This is her at
This
home.
is her in sweat. This is her day in sweatpants. This is Lady Gaga's version of sweatpants.
And that's where it starts.
Oh,
right
look at
there.
her cute little dog.
Yeah.
And I'm like just in a different time of my life now. I just don't like.
Okay, so the leotard and the sweatpants.
It's just I don't have one anymore.
What she's talking
I
about.
don't care. I don't know if it's because I'm 30 and I feel better.
She's showing us how she feels
All my
better.
insecurities are gone. I don't feel
The interpretive
insecure about
dance.
So she says at the beginning, she alludes
Oh, I like this
she
lighting.
has a boyfriend.
embarrassed or
And
ashamed
she's
of
just
what
done
I
with the bullshit.
have. I just feel
She's
Yeah.
done with it. And
She's
about to
30.
tell
She
her
doesn't
why.
need to.
She's about to tell you how together she is, and then by the end
So I
you'll
think
see
what
she's not.
happens
She
is,
doesn't quite have right. Yeah. What, no,
give
I
it
mean just
away.
at the end
It's
of the
a
sentence, not the end of the movie. Not the end of the movie. I'm not ruining anything. I'm talking about the end of the sentence. Yeah, she runs out of steam. Like she's like me, where I'll start making one point, and in the end, I'm like, "Fuck, what are you talking about?" So yeah, this is not a fully formed thought, which I kind of like about her. It's for sure. This is not some speech she's given before.
who I am as a woman. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed of what I have. I just feel like
That's millions of dollars for those of you who don't know.
It's better. And
She feels sexier.
so I think what happens is it's like, I don't know.
Right. I think what happens is like, I don't know. Like that is, and I get it. But like, I think what's happening is like, I don't know.
I can
don't know.
identify with that though.
No, for sure. Like that.
With like,
yeah.
so it's just like, you go on this big long diatribe about like who you are and what you have and how you're,
The subtext.
how sexy. I've never gone on that particular diatribe,
Have you-
but
so
in
let me-
other versions of that diatribe, I will frequently end with like, I don't know.
So you're saying as a woman, you haven't spent a lot of time in the kitchen in a leotard going, I'm sexy, but I don't know.
But I'm rich and
I'm at this place where I'm super comfortable with myself, but it's
I have
clear I'm
great
not comfortable
tits.
at all. And then let's see how she wraps it up. We might as well just get it.
Just you have to, I don't know, try and move together, I guess, as much as you can.
That's true.
Right. So she basically at the end, she says, I don't give a shit. But she starts out with, I don't give a shit. Then she says, I don't know. Then she says, you should spend a lot of time together. And then so then you think, okay, this movie, because this is at the point where you go, this is the thesis statement for this movie. This is about her and love. And then, nope.
And that's such a red herring.
Right?
It's a red herring.
It's a red
like,
herring.
It's sending you off thinking that it's going to be something that is definitely not going to be.
Right.
Because now she's, and the right after this, she's got this fabulous Malibu house, because why wouldn't she? And she goes upstairs and she is in an incredible amount of pain, and she has a masseuse who is, she's giving her a massage. Obviously.
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. If
People
you
will
have them,
come, but people
sometimes
will
you
come
forget
to your house.
when they're in your bedroom and you go, what do you do again? You're a masseuse. And you're like,
Oh,
right.
good. Phew.
She does have the...
She's got a staff for everything. A
It-
staff member for everything.
Yeah, it's interesting. So not unlike the Madonna film and to a lesser degree the Katy Perry, like there's a lot of attending. There are a lot of attendants, a lot of people in her life. But she is, it seems in some way being to be a little bit closer with all of them. She doesn't seem to be.
They're sort of like surrogate family members.
Yes, she's very she's nice to the people around her.
Yes.
Even though she has a bunch of them, and obviously some of them are paid, and some of them are clearly like, oh boy, here we go. You can see that in a lot of their faces. Oh, here we go.
We never see that leotard again in the movie, in case you're wondering, which I was kind of sad about.
Because I don't know, and I wear sweats.
Not like that.
But I just don't, I never think I'm going to go cook some bacon, but I just love to roll it down one or two.
I like to get a good hip splatter of
hip splatter.
molten oil.
Oh my God. Is that a thing? That's
It is
amazing.
now.
Hip splatter. There's a little hip splatter right here.
Yeah.
How about this? I podcast like this sometimes. I just roll
With
it down.
clown
I also pull it
pants.
up.
Show you a little hip bone.
Yeah. Still, so it's hard. So for me, right at the beginning, so she moves quickly.
Yeah, how did you feel about this opening? And what did you... Are you a fan, Greg?
In the same way that you are. Like, there are certain songs I like how much of an activist she is. I like how she's, vocal. And I think she's one of those people that, like, they get super huge and they can provide a voice for people. And I think she's been just cool in that way. Just, uses her powers for good, Sure. I don't know that I understand her music or where it's coming from or how you would even make it. Like when I hear it, I go, I don't know how you arrive at a song like Poker Face. Like there's just kinds of music where you go, I don't wake up and have that idea or that groove. Like I don't know where.
And it's a weird groove.
Yeah.
It's not a...
Yeah. And I had a hard time, and I think it's probably because she used to be very costumed. I could not tell you who she was. I could not figure out her face. Like I couldn't figure out anything. She had I don't know what she looks like. Like even if she walked in here, I go, well, that is her? I couldn't
You couldn't place her without all the stuff. I mean, if she didn't look like a crazy person... Right. I mean, if she looked like a crazy person, you'd be like, oh, on the red carpet, you'd be like, oh, that must be Lady Gaga showing up in an egg.
No, I'm right there with you.
Right. Or when she had all kinds of attachments, like
right.
She was,
or like in the meat dress. It's like, oh, that's Lady Gaga.
Right, in meat. Right. And
in a big sheath of meat.
Right. She did wear meat.
She did.
But I think it was the Super Bowl. Before the Super Bowl, I had no idea what she looked like, how tall she was. I just knew her voice from the radio and the few songs I knew of her.
So we get there. That's very interesting. Yeah. Now she sets up another premise, which I had no idea about. So the next clip that we picked, because I had a hard time during this movie knowing what it was about. I did. I was like, what are we on about? Like, I get that she's a superstar. I get that she makes music. Is this about the album? Is this about her boyfriend? And then we get a little bit of this.
And music, it's just like putting something precious and classic in a suitcase that you are going to take into the future. Because I've experienced that with people feeling
music
like
is like something precious and plastic that you put into the suitcase and you take into the future.
Why precious and plastic? It's like a banana that you put in a suitcase.
Right. But
like,
also,
what is that? It's like words schmerds.
Right.
What?
It is. There are times where you're talking where she's just throwing
it's
putting just whatever she's got. She's loaded here. Loaded.
Totally.
And when you see the dude sitting next to her and he's like, fuck. Oh man. Probably a bit when you're Lady Gaga first, you're like, fuck. I am hanging out with Lady Gaga. This is fucking awesome.
But now he's been her guitar player for like 2 weeks in the studio, and he's like, oh my God.
He's just like, where did I put my precious plastics?
In a suitcase.
You idiot. You sent them to the future. You fucking idiot. You always send them to the future. All right.
Are you going to play the
next? No matter how much respect I have for her as a performer,
she's talking about Madonna.
Yeah, I got to go back a minute. I got to go back just a little bit.
He's going to go back to find his suitcase in the past.
The thing with me and Madonna, for example, is that I admired her always, and I still admire her, no matter what she might think of me. No, I do. Yeah. The only thing that really bothers me about her is that I'm Italian and from New York,
Okay, stop right there.
If I got a problem.
Anytime, I am an Irish Catholic from Boston, and anytime someone prefaces their sentence with that and says something about, so I'll just fucking say it to your fucking face. It's like, no, you won't. You will not. So, yeah. No. Okay, continue.
There's a part we missed. I won't go back and get it, but she says, I realize, sometimes you hear something and then you realize, oh, I'm doing the same thing. I'm honoring it. And what she's basically saying is, I've stolen your idea. I've stolen it.
Well, she
With-
legit
I've honored
did.
it. So that is sort of the ruse we get here, is that she's been accused of sort of gripping, I think, Madonna's kind of gig.
But wasn't it about that song? Wasn't it about the song? On a bad time, baby, I was born this way. That sounds exactly like, don't go for second best, baby. Put your love to the test.
Yeah.
That one?
Right, exactly. And
Thank
there's
you.
a treaty that has been written about the Madonna feud. Like, I have literally pages of it, and then I thought, I can't read it. It's like a court transcript.
But they are the exact same song. And, I mean, there must have been some kind of
beef. Well, I'll find it.
yeah, or lawsuit.
But no matter how much respect I have for her as a performer, I could never wrap my head around the fact that she wouldn't look me in the eye and tell me that I was reductive or whatever.
So she never like given you a call and been
No. Like, I saw it on fucking TV. Telling me that you think I'm a piece of shit through the media is like, it's like a guy passing me like a note through his friend.
No, it's
My
not.
buddy thinks you're hot. Here's this like, fuck you. Like, where's your buddy? Fucking throwing me up against the wall and kissing me.
Right.
Like,
Ew.
I just want Madonna to fucking push me up against the wall and kiss me and tell me I'm a piece of shit.
So, now
I
that's the
think we're
movie I
done
want to
here.
see. Like that. That's the movie we all want to see. We're like, fuck, yes. Make that happen. That is like the singing version of Heat. Let's
It's
get
the new
Pacino
Saved by the Bell.
and Robert De Niro in the same room and have them fucking kill each other. Like, so yeah, that's kind of nuts. I think I have it here on my phone. Is it here? Let me
You got
see.
a lot of media.
I did. I got really excited about
Going
this one
on.
because we don't do it for people, and I thought, well, maybe they'd love to hear
We get to
a treaty about. Anyway,
show off the media to the nice people.
I know. Well, then I'm gonna. If I open this, then they're gonna see all. There it all is. Yeah.
That's the feud.
There, yeah. The feud goes on and on and on. Yeah. It is. Yes, it is. This took place right after the Protestant Reformation. And it also was about the Eucharist and whether the body was in or whether the body is everybody. And oh boy, just eat the cracker.
And we've also
move.
got all of Greg's ideas about what he's going to do
Yeah, there's
with
the
his
Behrendt documentary. A
life.
lot of stuff going on.
I'm
Okay.
filming that.
Yeah.
I'm directing.
Oh, I love it. But anyway, I think Kay's right. They had a fight. Madonna doesn't like her, and I kind of get it. Like in some ways, the best way to describe
Yeah,
Gaga,
she
if you didn't
jocked
know
her shit.
Right?
For
She
sure.
did,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But
and stole a song, like just flat out stole a whole entire song.
But would you say that Bowie could say the same thing to her, like in terms of like, well, I was the first of the shapeshifters, and then maybe the Beatles could go, we were shapeshifting, but we didn't really kind of know what we were doing. We were just sort of like going around, we were like kind of just adapting with the fashion. And then Bowie's like, now the pants are wide at the top and tiny at the bottom. You know, I'm gonna move sideways only, like he had some, and I'm gonna Bauhaus you, and you know.
Well, here's the thing about that, though, is that there is enough there's enough fame, real estate to go around for all the men.
Right.
So like all the men, there could be a million guys.
That's so true.
You know, becoming famous and successful and selling records and making an impact in every sort of lane that you could possibly choose in our popular culture.
Okay.
When it comes to women, there can only be one at a time. And no one has
Oof.
ever
With
been...
a break, please.
Madonna has never had a serious challenger to her level of success ever.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
And so I think that is probably somewhat threatening to Madonna, and especially when she sees someone like Lady Gaga taking from her like her exact fucking playbook.
Right.
And I'm sure that's like sort of like, you know, she's taking her suitcase
She took
moving
that
into the
suitcase
future.
in the future. She had her future suitcase.
Yeah.
What happened was Madonna also sent him.
Yeah, like she's already in the future with her suitcase, sailing away into
again, I'd like to go to the future suitcase movie.
Into like the adult community in Florida.
But I don't actually to me, they don't. The only thing they have in common is that they have. I guess the song music's sort of similar. I guess I don't know enough about the music, but her stuff is so severe. Her look is so severe. Whereas I felt like Madonna did a lot of really interesting things, but all of her different incarnations wanted to fuck. Whereas they just felt like they wanted to fuck, or they weren't supposed to, but they're gonna.
I never saw. I'll admit that I never saw. Did I? I actually did see Truth or Dare. Now that I think of it,
Did you guys see Truth or Dare?
The Madonna rockumentary. Maybe we should do that one as like the companion piece to this. Like go back.
That one was a pretty. That was a pretty ground. That was the beginning of.
Just like being totally up your own ass all the time.
Yeah.
And so that was Madonna. But I feel like Lady Gaga takes it to an extraordinary level, like just the self-absorption.
Right.
But I think in order to pull off what she's pulling off, you have to be totally convinced that you are the most talented, most extraordinary person in the whole wide world. It's kind of like wanting to be like the president of wanting to be the most famous pop star in the world takes the same kind of ego as wanting to be the president.
Right.
Or
because
whatever.
You have to have that sure-footedness, otherwise no one's going to believe you.
Right.
Right. I mean,
and I believe her. I believe this woman.
Right. Most of us won't go back and change our Starbucks order. We'll be like, oh, fuck, I'll just have it this time. It's fine. It's soy. It's not soy. It's okay. It'll be fine.
And it's like, if I get a bad review, like just one, it's just like, I'm exhausted. You know, like
Right,
I should just go be a dental hygienist.
Right. I mean, no, you shouldn't be.
No. I mean, obviously that's an absurd reaction, but that's what separates me from that.
So now I get to what I think the movie is about. So she gets asked, among other things, she's putting on this record and she's going to do the Super Bowl. So she's plotting with her team about what this new album is going to be like and what she's going to be on this one. And so she's had a meeting with a bunch of folks at her house about the actual day. And then she's having this meeting by the pool.
With her creative team who have in the past dressed her up in meat dresses and an egg.
Right.
And like these are the people this is the team responsible for all the Lady Gaga fashion and identity shenanigans.
And I want to start in our podcast identifying the people that you go, oh, this is what Spinal Tap. Like, oh my God, that person's real. Oh my God, that person's real. This is we'll call it like a tap moment. So I won't have to tell you which woman I'm talking about. And this whole scene is insane. And if you wrote it in a movie, people will go that.
You can't.
So here
it's
we
too
go.
crazy.
And it's also awesome.
To know how you feel about fashion, what it means to you.
Well, this album in particular, I want everything to come out of that studio and that girl. Yeah. Because when we stay with her, she's the gold.
Okay, when we go third person, well, that studio and that girl.
She means herself, by the way, in case you were confused.
That's old classic David
That girl.
Ricky Henderson. When Ricky Henderson hit the baseball. You know how Ricky Henderson loved to hit a baseball. He hits that ball. That girl, that's the girl I'm talking about. The you from that in that studio. That's okay. But her even more bullshitty is the friend that gets it, and it's not the one in the middle who's not talking, but is watching this like a tennis event.
Stay with her, she's the gold. Well, I think that's what people trust as well.
The girl up there.
What is what people trust? Why are you talking?
The girl in
Why
the studio, that girl.
Well, that's what people trust.
Really?
You're saying nothing. She's talking about a thing that isn't, and then you're
agreeing.
And now they're going to escalate it.
Glamorous for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
It's like, it's boring. It really is boring.
We understand you. Without, and it's difficult if we haven't actually had those conversations with you, like, because we're double guessing everything. But I think that...
Don't worry about it. I really don't, like, really, it was such a good, sorry, it feels better.
Oh, of course. No, you gotta let it go a little bit more, because everybody has to see what that really looks like, because it's actually magnificent. Do it.
It's just so insane.
Wait.
Here we go.
There you go.
I don't want you to feel bad about it. Really, the truth of the matter is, I just want to have a uniform, and I think my uniform should be a black T-shirt and black jeans, and black boots, and I just wear that a lot, and we get versions of that made. You know what I mean?
You've gone from the meat dress, and you turned it up even more. You know, you've gone, that next album was even turned up.
First off, I love that the woman, as soon as that top came out, the woman went, I'm still...
Look at her face now, Greg.
I went to a Catholic school, and but the fact that then she goes, when we're referring to, like, it's actually a real thing, you know, it's right, you've gone from the meat dress, like, that's a thing that happened, but also...
And that woman is clearly responsible for it.
Right. But she's also in her meat, we're all in our meat dress when we take our clothes off. We're in our meat dress. This is our meat dress. She's in her meat dress, that's her meat dress. The other one's a dress made out of meat. This is the meat dress.
Well, wait.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga has amazing tits. Like museum quality breasts from heaven.
When we talked today, she goes, she has museum tits, and I was like, wait, and I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly what you mean. Like from a statue. That's right.
They're just like, yeah.
Even more. And I think to strip back to black is just, and go with exactly what you just said, like that uniform, I just think is gold.
She's like, you ass-kissing bitch.
Yeah, I just told you I'm going to just wear my clothes.
I'm just going to wear...
That's right. You go back to black. Like, none more black. Spinal Tap. You can't... No, it's not blacker than... There's no more blacker than this. So she's convinced everybody that she's going to not dress up, and that's going to be how she's going to dress up. Yeah.
That she's going to be au natural.
So that... I mean, I'm already tired.
Like, this is just 15 minutes out of her life, what we've showed you.
Yeah. So now she goes to get ready for the Super Bowl. And she's also recording her album, and she's recording it with...
She also went to a baptism.
Right. She goes to a baptism,
and that was filmed like a 50s movie. It was so beautiful.
Like, everyone's in it. Like, imagine being so rich. I was like, we're going to do the podcast today, but it's going to be in the 50s. And you'll be costumed.
It was kind of like
when you get here, and then we'll do it. But so everyone at the baptism and the cars.
It's like her sister's baby was getting back.
Baby.
It looked like something out of Goodfellas.
It looked exactly like that.
Right?
Yes.
It was beautiful too. It was beautifully
fucking
filmed.
Awesome. That's what I would do with my money for sure. No, we're going in Lincoln Continental, and you've got to have a suit and a whole deal. So that just is a baptism to show her that she likes babies, and
Catholicism.
Yep.
Also very Madonna.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the album is called Joanne. Now, I was confused about this, but this is sort of the centerpiece of the album, which kind of happens and then you leave it. But Joanne is her
aunt. Joanne is her aunt, her father's sister,
right?
Who became gravely ill as a teenager, and had some, I forget what the illness was, but she had to have her hands chopped off. And so I know this really actually did happen. I saw the movie twice, and I
Holy
still
Roman Empire.
but instead of allowing her child to, she was 19 years old when this happened, instead of allowing her child to want, kind of giving her the best life that she possibly could without any hands, she actually prayed to God to take her.
Right.
And so Joanne died,
Right.
and has sort of been this kind of like mythical ghost in the family ever
Right.
since. And so that's, and the father is haunted, and
So they're all
she's
haunted.
They're haunted.
They're all haunted. And
By
it's
the ghost
heavy.
of Joanne.
And there's pictures at the house. And then she goes over there. And she's written a song about Joanne. And she wants the grandma to hear it. And
Oh my God.
and then she wants to sit right next to her. And it's like
And Dad does not want to hear it. Dad walks out.
It feels like she's torturing them, but she's trying to be nice. But it's this weird moment of like, remember? Do you remember? I wrote this song. Remember this? She's dead. She's dead. And I remember dead. And the clearly they're old school. And the grandma's like, fucking, how long does this happen?
Yeah.
Right?
And
It's
you
meant
know
to be
that
a nice
like,
moment, but it feels like
It was upsetting.
This feels like torture porn. Like,
because
this
it
feels-
meant something different to Lady Gaga, Stephanie Germanotta,
Right. Yeah.
than it did to Dad and Grandma, because
Right,
they
it
knew her
feels-
and they lived through this. And for Lady Gaga, this is like this Joanna's like this mythical teenager,
Right.
Who was like whose wings were clipped at the height of her powers.
Yes.
And,
Now, the thing I would say is, you go, oh, was she doing this thing? She's being documented. No. The one thing I am certain of is that she's like this all the time.
Yes.
Like Madonna staged a lot of shit, right? Because she seems a little bit more like, but this girl's like, yeah, put the camera. I am crazy.
And
So
she's
just
over
come
at
with
Grandma's
me.
house like, Grandma, listen to my new song. Grandma, listen to my new song. Grandma, listen to...
Yeah. Like
She
they
does
maybe
that.
even liked having the cameras there. They're like, well, how long could this go? These people are going to have to leave at some point. It's uncomfortable for all of us. But at least I can say, you do this. They filmed it, remember? Stop coming over me and torturing me about dead people that we knew. I knew. You didn't know so well because you were a baby, and this is weird. So that strange moment happens, and then we move on. So she is gearing up to do this Super Bowl thing.
And
right?
doing promo for
Putting out
Joanne
the
at the
record.
same time.
And
doing
so-
press with like the New York Times and writing songs with Mark Ronson.
Right.
And doing all that stuff.
So Mark Ronson, if many of you may or may not know, but Mark Ronson sort of came to fame when he produced the Amy Winehouse record.
Yes.
Right, and he's a fantastic producer. He's
Yeah.
a talented guy. He doesn't, like, he's a whole other basket. He's a whole other, because he's English, but he's also American, but his accent, he feels Dutch.
He's got
There's
like
something-
Madonna.
It's like, I made a clip, like I got a clip. Like, I don't know what, I listened to him so many times. He's so fucking cool. His style is fucking banging. He's such a talented guy. I don't know what this accent is. I can't, it's...
Like now, and Gaga, you can be here to.
Cool.
Alright, everyone. I'll speak to you tomorrow and the next day and everything, because we're gonna be obviously still sorting all this shit out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a girl.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, I'm a girl. That was...
Right.
Alright,
We're gonna go, and I'm full English, but I forgot.
I'm sorry, I'm a neurotic Jew. The physical affection makes me feel awkward.
That's a great line.
I know.
I can't place him at all. I don't know. Anyway, so, but he's another one of the people. She's hugging people a lot that are like,
What is
yeah. There's a
happening?
lot of grabbing onto people, and there's a lot of people standing around her like, you know what I mean? Like she's
And probably
really,
a lot of inappropriate touching. A lot of
yeah. She's like,
like intense intimacy where perhaps it's not warranted.
right. But you do get, like, the one thing I will say is that, like, then they do a very good job of sort of showing you how incredibly huge she is, how much work it is, how hard it is to make a record, how enormously popular, the amount of interviews, the amount of photographs. They're going through all this shit. Like, they bang through it pretty quickly, and it's impressive. And it's one of those things, like, even in your head, even though you know it's hard work, you're like, I know, but you're taking a photo for an album cover. You know what I mean? But it is hard work, you know, and you do, and she's good
And she's
at it.
traipsing back and forth between her palatial estate in Malibu
Right.
and her penthouse overlooking Central Park.
Right.
You know, so it's a very privileged life, and she even admits that.
Yeah.
You know,
for that kind of person, she seems relatively grounded, I suppose. But she forgets to remember the thing that she's on about till she remembers it, and then she starts crying. Do you know what I mean? Like she forgets she doesn't have a boyfriend anymore, and then when she does remember, she remembers all the relationships, and then she's making a record, and then and all this shit happens to her, and her album gets leaked, and you get a sense that her life is very, very difficult. But this was, I thought, a pretty interesting moment in the movie, what she says here.
But like, I'm alone, Brandon, every night. And all these people will leave, right? They will leave. And then I'll be alone. And I go from everyone touching me all day and talking at me all day to total silence.
Sounds great.
I mean, she may
That's
not know
beautifully
she's
shot.
in a pool also. Like you're in a pool. Like nobody can go in there. And that's how, well, it doesn't have to be.
Total silence.
Yeah.
That was such a beautifully shot scene. And that reminds me, there was like a lot to love about the way the filmmaking aspect of this movie was, it was really fantastic.
And she's incredibly talented, like really, really gifted.
She is,
really
and
talented.
you know,
And
I
sincere,
really found
yeah.
her to be rather charming. And it's funny, the first time I watched the movie, I watched it by myself at night, and I was like,
Was that after a day of everybody touching you?
yes, people were touching me all day and talking to me all day.
long. And then they left.
And I was,
And then they left.
It was total silence, and I watched the Lady Gaga movie. And I was in my pajamas, and I had candles lit, and I was eating cheese and drinking just like a 6-pack of LaCroix, and I found myself like really identifying with quite a bit of what was going on in the movie. I mean, not like the wealth or boobs. or the short shorts. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't identify with, but the essence of what some of the things she was. Anyway, I had an experience watching the movie, and I really enjoyed it. And then today, I watched it again just to kind of brush up on it with my boyfriend, and my 14-year-old son walked in the room, and he was like, "Is this a parody?" And I was like, no, it's like a real movie. And he was like, ugh. and Clay my boyfriend kind of felt the same way. He was like, I don't feel like this makes me like her anymore. And so I had kind of a different experience watching it the second time around with other people in the room.
It's one of those things that it's really, because I think that the thing that these things always explain to you about everybody, about her, about Bono, about any of those people, is that they've driven themselves to this place. This isn't a place somebody fucking took them. And it's a place they kind of, like you said, they invented this. This is crazy on a level that she invented and then populated. And lots of people get to go to work because of her, and lots of people have jobs, and lots of people are super happy. She's a fucking empire. People forget that sometimes, like, oh, they're so rich. It's like, yeah, but a lot of people go to work, and there's a lot of people that, like, she's fucking a machine, like the people that put that fucking Super Bowl thing, and she was the Super Bowl fucking halftime just by herself, right? Like that's a big deal, but the kind of drive it takes to be that ultimately leaves you with people going, okay, well, I'm good. So you're done talking? Okay, I gotta go, because you have that fucking, I gotta, like you wake up and go, fuck, how many horses do I have? Like you live, did I forget them? Did I forget that I had horses? What if they're fucking dead? Why did anyone let me buy horses? How many of them are there? Or was that just a photo shoot? I don't know. I don't know if I own horses. I mean that sincerely. I would love them. I came from nothing, but now I have ponies. That's how you get. And at the end of the day, as far as those kinds of people are concerned, I ended up still digging it, admiring her. And then I also had that like fucking white male conflicted, like, there's a scene where she comes in and like it's just under boob, and it is very hard to know why, like it's okay, it's just a boob. It's her, and she seems okay with it. Why are you not? I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to. And everyone around her seems to be like, or she's at a radio station. The guy goes, those are the same shorts as last week. I remember because they were still all the way up your ass. Like, right? And I think no one ever thinks about what I'm wearing when I come into a room, no matter what it is. I mean, they might go. I mean, here's what I mean. They don't judge me. They don't judge me on a sexual level at all. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like, it's also just a different.
That's what you think, Greg.
That's
There's
true.
some kinky fetishes out there.
That is true.
For
Walking
clown
in here
pants.
with those clown pants, like you knew what you were doing.
In a cardigan.
You know what those clown pants say. You know what they say. You walk in there like that, and then you act like, oh, what happened? I should be able to walk into a place with my clown pants. Should you?
Without people sexualizing you and catcalling you.
But she gives a lot of information at once. Like, she's a lot of information. Like, there's a lot to take in. You're like, There's a lot
of need going on. And if you are a person in her life, you are going to get ground up in the need machine.
Yes.
Because, she needs you.
Yeah.
And whatever you're bringing, a lot.
Right.
And when you are in her, need vortex,
right,
you're working hard. Yeah.
And it's about her. There's a moment where she's working on an album, and she has the woman from Florence and the
Florence and the Machine.
Florence and the Machine.
I think her name is Florence.
And she is, and then you're like, okay, she seemed like she's just fucking grounded, but also like she's like a tiny bit like this fantastically talented person.
She's very sweet. She's very nurturing and motherly towards Gaga.
Yes.
And I can imagine that they knew each other for a very brief period of time, but there was this instant, the need machine just created this intimacy.
Right.
Where it's all of a sudden, Florence is hugging her like a child, embracing her like a child.
Right.
Right. At some points.
And then at one point she says, I don't know how you can just post something on your Instagram. 18 million people are looking at that. And Lady Gaga goes, why would you say that?
Now that you mention it.
You're like, It was a weird, almost parenting moment. It was kind of nice.
Did you?
Yeah, and then here's the wear and tear. Yeah,
right.
Do you want to do that? Or
we can do the wear and tear. I wanted to talk about the scene because I meant to have one of you guys grab the scene in Walmart because I think that was a really special moment.
I think that was the underboob scene.
There was underboob, and that's there. I mean, that was the one underboob scene.
You can see where my
there were
notes were.
so many.
Right. Yeah. Talk about that, and we probably
Yeah, we can talk about that after this. This is kind of important and telling.
This is you get a little bit of because she also it's revealed that she's not well.
I have chased this pain for 5 years. And the fury in all of this is that I'm fucking strong and I can still be me. Yeah. And when I feel the adrenaline of my music and my fans, I can fucking
This
go.
is talking to a doctor,
but
by the
it
way.
doesn't mean I'm not in pain, right?
We think it's
It
a
sounds
doctor.
like
She
you've
just
been
grabbed it.
willing your body to perform. So in order to
She's got a
function,
white
you're going to
coat.
have to shut down your emotions in order to do your job.
Right, but I didn't know I was doing that. I was
So anyway,
so on and so forth.
she's got a lot of breaks and aches and pains, and she also has lupus. So and they
Does
breeze
she have
over
lupus
that.
or fibromyalgia?
Fibromyalgia.
Right.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Are they similar? There's a lot. No. Oh.
Are they not the same? Similar? I don't
Okay.
know where I got lupus.
I don't want to be
It might have been another
offensive.
documentary. Different band.
They're different words.
Different band. Okay, so lupus. Okay.
Oh,
I
thank
didn't
you.
just pull it out of the
Are you
air.
a Lady Gaga fan? Oh, okay. Oh, you did your homework. Yes.
But anyway, so we get to because we should probably wrap it up, and if you guys have any questions or anything you want to say, but but anyway, this scene and the other one where they're, where she's going through getting her parts rubbed. She's a fucking warrior, man. She's tough as shit.
Yeah.
You know, she's really like a pretty impressive human being for only being 30. She's fucking 30.
Yeah.
She's 30. I mean, they show you all the fucking different looks she's had and all the shit she's done before 30.
I think one of the great illustrations.
I didn't learn to pee with the door, like 30.
Oh my God, that's. Yeah.
Were they Shetland ponies? I can't remember what we bought. No, what were you saying?
I was going to say the crystallizing moment for me. Well, aside from this stuff where she's rehearsing everybody for getting ready for the Super Bowl, there was this one scene where the record has just come out and she's doing all the promo stuff. And the day that the record drops, she and her manager or like someone from her security team go to a Walmart to like buy the record and meet, like she's just in her, like a different pair of cutoff pants and a side boob shirt.
Yeah, she's got a pretty good, this is the underboob.
But this one was like the slumming it one. This was like, she looked like she belonged in fucking Walmart. She looked like people of Walmart, like one of those pictures from that website. But she went there with the idea that she would like, put the Lady Gaga, to make sure that they had it.
Yep.
To like make sure that people could see it.
Make sure it was on the end caps.
And like make sure eventually that people knew that she was Lady Gaga. And that, I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but it's like for a person of that stature to give a shit whether it's at Walmart or not, and to go meet with fans and get your picture taken when truth be told, she was not looking her best and she didn't care. It was just like all about like making sure that her record was in the stores. Her attention to detail is that specific.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she, so this movie does a lot to like, look, I'm not wearing my makeup and here's me bleeding and here's my, like this. And also, but I'm also weirdly starting to look a little bit like Amy Winehouse as we move through it when we're making, like they start spinning
but not
the
because
eyes
of the
in.
drinking. It's like, it's on purpose.
Yeah.
Like it's a style choice.
And then the movie just concludes with her being at the Super Bowl, which is its own thing and doesn't really draw a conclusion about any of it. I mean, they try and bring in her ex-husband fiance sent her a bunch of flowers, which is confusing. And
Beyonce sent her flowers.
Yeah, that was also nice.
That was amazing.
Yeah, but fuck that guy. You don't fucking send flowers if you're not, that thing.
If you're not the fiance anymore, it's like,
leave it alone.
We ain't friends.
Yeah.
We ain't friends, baby.
Yeah. And then we see her get ready, and she yells at her team, but it seems justified. She wants to make
Do
sure
you
it's
have a
good.
clip of that?
Yeah, there's a one.
I
part.
like that.
Yeah.
I think it's important to see.
Did you tell Ian to do the change?
Yes.
Okay, I just need someone to tell me.
This is rehearsal.
Sorry.
I just have I have no idea. And then, did you guys change the skirt? The belt? Did you add another latch to the belt in the back? Okay.
That was my fault. I just feel like those girls were just like not getting it.
They're both, nobody's getting it.
Right.
Right now, I'm doing full passes of a show feeling like shit with everything being like falling all over the place around me. So it's just a waste of time. As a performer, I'm going, what are we doing? Like, I would rather have nothing on and be like 1, 2, 3, just practicing the jacket and getting it right so that I can feel, because the thing is when those things are happening, I'm setting up my breath and I'm getting my mind ready to set the note right for this moment so I can, right now, like, I'm not finding the cameras when I'm supposed to find the cameras because I'm like, wait, where am I? And I'm dizzy out there. I mean, that's a 360 room. It's not like I have a backdrop to go, oh, here's the back of the stage. Like, when I get turned around, I'm legit like, I don't know where I am. This lining is not gonna work. And I just change it. Okay, but they need to change it like now because I have to rehearse with it. And this is the stuff that's making me nervous. Is I know to other people it's like, oh, no big deal. It's just a lining of a jacket. But for me,
you would care about
like
a lining.
the way that the fabric
I'm not
of
kidding
my
you.
outfit.
I wish I had more of this in
there.
But she's worried about the keytar too. How it's going to affect the keytar.
It's like a whole thing. So every little thing that's not done, means more work for me Friday, means less time for me to rehearse my performance.
That is true. She
Everyone's
knows what
tired.
she wants.
Those dancers are tired. I'm sorry, but I know those dancers. They're fucking tired.
She's fucking taking what she needs.
And look, I love
That's the lesson.
this is not the only shot like this in the movie. This happens several times where it's like they're shooting her from behind and everyone is kind of circled around her. Oh, we have 5 minutes, Greg. We're getting a 5-minute warning.
All right, yeah, all right. Yeah.
So she gets what she wants. She does the Super Bowl. Her record goes to #1, and it's all.
But her aunt still is dead.
And has her handless aunt.
Her aunt is still dead, and
Is
her
dead.
and her family would love it if we just didn't have to hear the song again.
Right. So how many Tufnells
Would
do
be
you
good.
give? So that's our scale.
Yeah. Well, hang on real quick.
Sorry.
The thing I liked about this, one of my favorite parts of the movie was I like people who fucking just are like, just are able to say what they want. You know, as I'm talking about, like at the Starbucks, you just get what they need.
Yeah.
Like I need more of that. I'd like to be able to come downstairs in the morning and go, okay, is this juice we're having? Look, I'm trying to have a breakfast. All right, I just want to have a breakfast, and I don't know. My daughters are sitting here while they're sitting askew. It's like I come in, I don't know what everybody's doing, and I have a day to go to where I'm going to go do some stuff. So, and I'll make my own orange juice. I don't fucking care. But if we're going to do this, let's fucking do it
Correctly.
I'm not being an asshole here. I just don't want us to all look like idiots. But right now, what I'm seeing is I can't even put these pants on. Did I get fat? Maybe I did. I don't have bigger pants. Talk me through it. Somebody help me out, okay? Did anybody here have anything they want to say about it, or about the yes?
Okay, I came from Sydney, so I flew over and I watched this on the plane.
Oh wow!
And I wish I watched something else, honestly. But so 2 things: did we need this documentary now? I get it that there's a moment in time that was about her.
That's a good question.
But did we need it? I think categorically, take the footage now, have it for later. But did we need it now? Because it felt more of a PR exercise than a documentary.
Sure.
Okay, that's good. And
Sure.
we think about that a lot, so that's interesting. Yeah.
Secondly, now, is this an urban myth? Is the halftime show at the Super Bowl pay to play? Is it become pay to play now?
Oh, interesting. I've never heard that.
I've never heard
Because I
that.
thought Coldplay had to pay or something like that.
Well, we all paid.
What's that?
They put it up there, man. Phew, slam Coldplay. Boy, we took down. You know what? We fucking punching up. I don't know. I don't know.
That's a good question. I mean, it seems like the people that they get it's not like they're getting, people who need I mean, I guess everybody wants to be headline the Super Bowl, but it's like U2, I don't think U2 needs to pay to play.
No, I can't imagine that's true just because those games can often be fucking deadly and those half times, man, a lot of people get. I mean, I do. Sometimes I'm like, I don't care who's playing, but
people tune in for that.
And as far as the Super
Well, they've
Bowl
made-
audience, did they care about the Who?
They've made some missteps. I think at a different time they would have liked the Who, but I do think people like Gaga.
Yeah, I mean, she's the biggest star in the world.
Yeah, I think
She
I
is.
think everyone loved when Prince did it.
Oh my God!
The
I
McCartney one
loved
was
when
big.
when Bruno Mars did. Oh, I guess
Yeah.
he did it the same year as Coldplay. No,
Coldplay.
did he just get the gig all himself? Like, was it just him? He shared it with who?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he blew it out.
With and Beyonce that year. Yeah.
But you make a good point because I feel like there's things she sets up here that would be interesting down the line, and I feel like sometimes you go, man, you're fucking 30. You can make this thing at 50 and have some. Yeah, I mean, who knows? And maybe she finds those horses. Anybody else? Any questions or comments?
I just comment.
Yeah.
I love that your reflection wasn't happening.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I am the ghost that haunts her. She was a fan of the talk show, and
The ghost of
there's actually
Joanne.
was a clip we didn't have it, but Amira goes into the bathroom, and you see her walk through in the shadow.
That's
shut
amazing.
the door, and then open. Then she comes back out. You don't hear anything, but there's a whole life happening. 2 documentaries happening at once, so that's a new thing. It's like those Simon and Garfunkel songs where they had another song going on inside of the song. What more? Anyone else? Well, let's give it. Oh yeah.
Was it my imagination, or did they just dump something in the middle about Hillary Clinton becoming the Democratic nominee and just walk away from it?
Say it
That
again?
was. Did they cover that?
I thought I heard something.
They covered that very briefly.
Yeah, like they just dump something in there, like Hillary Clinton's becoming the Democratic nominee, and they just move on to something else, and it never comes back.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what happened to poor Hillary. Everybody got excited, and then look what happened. So maybe we were all, wherever it was she was focused, we all. But
Wow.
No, I don't know.
Chase is saying that it's time for
Yeah,
us
we
to
gotta
wrap
wrap
it
it
up.
up. Okay. So how many? So Tufnells, that's our scale.
That's our
our scale.
1 to 5 Tufnells. I give it 4 Tufnells.
Oh, that's a lot. Wow, that's big.
I liked it.
That's big. All right, fair enough. I'm gonna give it 3. Yeah,
I'm giving it a
3.
4 mainly because of her boobs. But also because the filmmaking was just beautiful. It was just beautifully shot. I thought it was edited well. And I actually I liked her. I went into
liked
it not
her.
really liking her.
I ended up
I kind of
liking
thought
her.
her face was like, even though she's had some work done, it's good work. And she, like, her face is very expressive, like we were alluding to. And I liked it.
You liked it. Now, 20 years ago, I could have liked it for the same reason, but I'm woke. I liked her as a powerful
Woke
woman.
Greg.
Who knows how to fucking. I love people that can be like that. I don't quite have that, but I still I love your point. The story's not finished yet. This is some great footage for later, and maybe they'll do that. But that's it. Anyway,
This episode will drop next Tuesday.
yeah. So
And,
you've already heard it. But
this
tell
has
a friend.
been Rock Out with Your Doc Out.
Rock out with your doc out. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
We're
you.
flattered that you came.